Yeah, it's no sound because I was on mute. I had the thing on mute. So two things are going to happen here. All right. So misinformation, not just here because we did this yesterday. So we're not going to go too much in that, but it's really over here. The brother who John was talking to last night. I mean, so between the brother last night who came on like 3 o'clock in the morning with his misinformation and this brother over here with his misinformation, like I don't know, man. Like, and you guys got high hopes for our people. It's like, how can you have high hopes for people who are building foundations with or building foundations on misinformation? Like, how far can you go with that? And then the emotions get involved. You dig? So, peace, decent, Stu, Lamar, LaDonna. Yeah, so then like the emotions. So with our people, man, we I don't get it. Like we hate information. We hate correct information. Let me say that. So as you know, this was said yesterday, right? Well,
The fact that we were injected with the most virulent form of syphilis during the Tuskegee experiments.
okay. I mean, that was plain English. We have to ask our people, where did that information come from? Okay, we're in here. Do you hear? Look at this. Look what I do for you. Now this is the CDC, by the way. CDC. Okay. So look at this. I'm gonna go to control find. Okay. You heard that noise? That means that the word injection is not even on here. You see it right there. Can you guys see that? I'm spelling out injection and control find so it can pull up. The word injection is not even in any study that you look at. There's no injection. I mean, to deliberately misinform our people just so you can sell a conspiracy, like, that's chasing, man. So it said the study initially involved 600 black men, 399 with syphilis, and 201 who did not have the disease. I mean, listen, at some point we got to put our hatred away, put our misinformation to the side, and deal with just history. Like you don't have to lie on the story to make it sound more horrific. It's already horrific enough. You don't need to add to the story to make black folks mad at America. Like this story itself, the correct way, the truthful way, will make the average black person has some feel some type of way towards this country. You did. You don't have to add to this. But why do you need to add injection? Bruh, nobody was injected. 600 black men, some already had syphilis, and 201 did not have syphilis. How do you get syphilis? It's a sexually transmitted disease. That's what some people believe was native to this country. So when the European settlers came over here and they gave the Native Americans smallpox indirectly and indirectly, well, it was a quid pro quo because the Native Americans, when they had sex with the European settlers, passed off syphilis to them, and the Europeans went back to their country, to their countries, and spread syphilis across amongst themselves. Spain, all through the European nations. You dig? So if you look at the numbers or the dates, you'll see 1492, they came over here, contracted syphilis, and then 1494, it was an epidemic of syphilis out there in their countries. They went back and spread it to their own people. So they indirectly and directly gave the Native Americans smallpox, and the smallpox indirectly gave them, or probably directly as well, gave them syphilis. And they went back to their home countries and it caused some major problems. Peace, Mongo. So, but the point is this. I'm gonna make this I see that you can't really read it. So let me do this like this. Disease for disease. Like hey, listen, we don't want to hear that. Yeah, like we really believe like all diseases stem from Europe. And I challenge you guys to find natural diseases that came from Europe. And you're gonna be let down. What you find, you're gonna find lice, ticks, fleas, Lyme disease. Now, hey, Haskell, you know, your opinion is your opinion. You dig? Like you said, you're the king of the pseudos. So I'm not gonna respect your opinion on this subject. You're the king of the pseudos, and you are, in my mind, an anti-vaxxer. Maybe you're not. I don't know, but in my mind, you are. You can speak for yourself. So I do know this brother is an anti-vaxxer. I do know that. So your opinion, you stays with you. I know he's an anti-vaxxer, and you added injections to an experiment that did not need to be there. There's no way, there's no study, there's no classroom in this country, there's no textbook in this country that teaches that people in the experiment were injected. Peace, Michael. Okay, there's no study in this country, there's no textbook in this country, there's no schooling in this country that seriously teaches that people were injected. So I ask you could keep your opinion to yourself. This was definitely malice because he mentioned syphilis not to redirect you to syphilis, the experiment. He used the experiment to get your attention, to get you feeling some type of way so he could introduce his real agenda. And that was his anti-vaccine push. As you can see, this is 2013. So but this was retweeted 2 days ago. Look at this, it was retweeted 2 days ago. So why would you retweet something for 2013, 2 days ago? Why? Because we are in a crisis and we've been hearing about a vaccine to come. So this is the perfect time to be anti-vaccine again. So you retweeted a video of a well-respected minister, a world-renowned minister who made who did more than just misspoke, who did more than just make a mistake or slip of the tongue. The dude, peace, AJ Black man, the brother, the minister, this is called a blunder. It's a mistake that should not happen. That's like saying George Washington discovered America. It's like, bro, like that's worse than a slip up. It's like, yo, what? That's like saying John Starks is Michael Jordan. You did, or had the Michael Jordan career. Yeah, John Starks, he played, King Life. John Starks, he played for the Bulls. He wore number 23. Man, he's the best ever. It's like, yo, what? So the brother right here, the minister, this was more than a misspoke. This is more than a mistake, slip of the tongue. This was purposely said. And as you play the video, I'm going to finish playing the video. All this was put together perfectly. Okay? This was put together perfectly to deceive his own people. Like when I say own people, I literally mean not just Black people in totality. I mean the people in his organization. Why would you lace them up with misinformation to go out in the real world and be an intellectual? How can you be recognized as an intellectual when your foundation is misinformation? So everybody who was unclear of this study that listened to the minister speak, their foundation of what happened during this experiment is flawed. It's laced with misinformation. So when they go out into the real world to tell the world about our plight, they're going to talk about an injection. And if like we seen how Tariq Nasheed was handled, when he went out there in front of those white folks. We seen what Sean Hannity tried to do to Dr. Khalid Muhammad. We seen what they tried to do to Malik Azul Shabazz. We seen what they tried to do to Minister Farrakhan. So, and we're talking about what they tried to do to them for what they said. So all they did was bring up what they said before, and they brought it before the people to say, explain this. When you say pull up the Pope's skirt, what do you mean by that? So you see, so they use your wordings and they put it back in your face before the world and have you try to explain this stuff, and all they do is buck dance because they realize, wow, what I said was more impactful than I thought. So now, because this is a serious situation, like we can have fun, you know, but I hate when we have fun during like serious times. Like that just bothers me. So I'm really putting something together that he put this together. By the way, I didn't do this. I'm just unpacking it. That's what I'm doing. I'm unpacking his package. Okay, now he didn't title this. I don't know. This I guess this is his title. It's called The Devil's Wicked Tricks Using Vaccines. So he wants to get you, he wants to turn you against vaccines, no problem. Like no black person in this country is faulted by looking at the government medicine sideways. All right. No black person in this country, probably around the world, is faulted for second guessing, for questioning this government's medicine. Okay? Their hospitals, no black person is faulted. They all have that right to say, well, I don't trust it. They all have the right to say, well, what's in the ingredients? They all have that right because of the dark history in this country that black folks have endured within, you know, the hospitals and just the medical industry, period. So every black person has the right to question, second guess, and deny medicine from produced by this country. You dig? Nobody can argue with them. They have the right because they know this history. So we can't argue with you for feeling like that. You dig? That's where I'm going with it. So with that being said, this is the opportunity to encourage your members to become scientists, to become more so in medicine, to become doctors, get into the medical field. So if we're going to introduce medicine to each other, it's from trusted sources. You dig? We trust the administrators of the medicine. We trust the research. This is the best time to encourage your members to get into these fields. Because in the same video, he talked about how Cuba's vaccines are more clean. Okay? But even with that, let's say if that was true. Let's say if that was true, Cuba's vaccines are cleaner. Why would we trust them? Like, what allegiance do they have to us? Why they can't lace it? Why them, they, to build the burgers, to build a Whopper, to build a cheeseburger, to build your own donut, why they can't influence Cuba, do a deal with them, give them some trinkets, you dig? Influence them and have them get on board. You know how the Illuminati does, like you guys say. Get them on board and then lace the vaccines all over again. So the best way to be safe, if this is the route you want to go, the best way to be safe is to say, I encourage us, our members, our people, to get into the scientific fields, especially of medicine, nurses, doctors, you dig, and let's test the stuff ourselves. Let's put the money together to get these devices that's needed. You dig, to get the lab that's needed. And so when a vaccine is produced or your company requires you to be vaccinated, your school requires you to be vaccinated, you can say, yeah, we are vaccinated, but not by your vaccine. We got our own vaccines. And you know how science does. Science is, you know, it's falsifiable. So you actually can retest what we have and see that it's just as valid or it's just as effective as yours, if not more. But the goal is to show that the vaccination that we chose to receive protects us from harmful diseases too. So therefore, we are not going to be spreading them no more than you are. You dig? That's how you do that. But it's irresponsible to talk down on a solution and then don't offer one yourself. No different than telling we can even stretch. Let me stretch. Let me go to an extreme. to tell black men to get off the corner for selling drugs, or the prostitutes get off the corner, but don't offer them an alternative lifestyle. We don't offer them a job. We don't help to fix up their resume. We don't introduce a program that takes ex-cons in, you dig, and give them jobs. All we want to say is get off the block, get off the corner, and then we go home feeling good. That's not how that works. You dig? So all I'm saying, that's how you would do that if you're gonna go that route. But what you don't do is this right here. You don't lie. You don't do this.
The fact that we were injected with the most virulent form of syphilis during the Tuskegee experiments.
Okay, so now you will be misled to think this video is about the Tuskegee experiment. So this is why I say it had its own agenda. This has nothing to do with the Tuskegee experiment. He's using that as a premise to go against vaccinations, like the title says. So watch this. Now he's going to immediately drop Tuskegee experiment and go into what he really wants to talk about, but he wanted to shock you with a horrific event like this experiment to get you emotional so he can lay this on you.
From 1932 to 1972, 40 years, allowing us to cohabit with others to spread the disease.
Now, that part is fact. See, the only thing he said that was wrong, his whole thing, was the injection part. But so you're like, well, why does that matter? That's a small slip up. It matters because this video is not about the experiment. You see the title right here. It's about vaccines. That's why it matters, because he's indicting vaccines, and vaccines has nothing to do with the experiment. Look at this.
And all we got when it was discovered was an apology and some meager, very meager compensation.
So this is tricknology, some will say, by your own definition. That's tricknology. You add in truth with falsehood. You dig?
Millions of them.
Now look where he goes now. Now look, connect the dots. So you talked about the experiment, the Tuskegee experiment. Okay. But then you drop that right there and you go over here now.
Americans were given polio shots starting in the 1950s and 60s.
You see? So he tells about a real horrific event, which is the Tuskegee experiment. That was very horrible for Black folks at that time who were the volunteers. And that's a very horrific or traumatizing thing to learn about, period. You dig? So he gives you that. He put that in your conscious. He drops it right there. And then he talks about something that has no dirty history. He talks about the polio vaccine. Like, okay, where are you going with this?
And now flu shots.
And then he talks about flu shots. It's like, okay, where are you going with this now?
And we don't know what contagions or toxins are in the vial or serum that we are being injected with.
See, injected. He tied injected to vaccines and injections with the Tuskegee experiment. He's saying the same way they injected those 600 Black folks with syphilis, and they didn't know what was in the toxins or the serum of the vaccine, the same way how we don't know what toxins they put in the vaccines of polio and the influenza vaccination and any other vaccine coming from then on. So that's what he just did. So I believe this is called I think this is called begging the question. Circular reasoning, something like that. I'm starting to learn these damn logical fallacies. So this was, I believe this is begging the question. Okay, he started off with a false premise. And the brother did the same thing. The brother who talked about triclosan, he said the same thing. He said triclosan is in so many antibacterial soaps. False premise. False premise. So now he goes on to tell us to look out for soaps with triclosan and because it's a problem. There are no soaps with triclosan in 2020. Why are we saying this in 2020? The same way he's talking about some injections with syphilis during this experiment, there were no injections, my brother. So why do we lead with false premises? Because we have an agenda we're trying to push, and we can't push it with the truth. You can't be truthful and push the agenda, because the truth would say, hey man, like there's no connection. Like, nah, so the truth doesn't sell you, a lie does. Misinformation sells you. So let's go over here. Let's go over here. So early in the morning, we had to deal with misinformation over here now. Check this out. Look at this. Look at this. So we started over there, and now we're over here. Matter of fact. So I'm going to show you how I'm good at recognizing patterns. All right. I'm seeing that in order to push a lie, the premise got to be false. So, matter of fact, I will play this after Sarnetta, because Sarnetta went live just now with Brother Polite. So I'm not gonna start right now. I didn't know when they would go live. I thought they were not gonna go live. He said 6:37, and they didn't go live. So I'm like, all right, well maybe they canceled. So they are live now. So we will continue. We will continue after they're live. And I ain't gonna be late tonight. I woke up at like 3:00 p.m. today. I'm mad as hell, man. Matter of fact, I'm lying. I woke up at 9:00 to do my online lessons. So I went to bed like at 4:30, something like that. Woke up at 9, then was up for like 3 hours teaching. Then I went to bed, woke up. Yeah, man, horrible, man. I'm not doing that. So anyway, I'm gonna head over to Sarnetta, see what's going on over there. Then we're gonna come back and finish this up.